Hello, Newburgh. It's Pastor Steve here with the Monday Minute for June the 28th, 2021. Thanks for listening here today as we have a few announcements that we want to share before we get to our devotional for this week. First of all, if you've not had a chance, you can go to our website or check it out on social media or our YouTube channel of our announcements that are coming up for this week. Jill Hisoli, our nursery care coordinator, has prepared those for you, and we hope that you'll do that. Just a quick reminder that we will be having our outdoor concert featuring In the Mood on July 4th for Independence Day coming up this coming Sunday, and we hope that you'll be able to join us for that. That will be an outdoor concert, and it's going to be a great time. With the July 4th holiday that is happening on a Sunday this year, next week as a matter of fact, that means the office will be closed a week from today, Monday, July the 5th, in honor of Independence Day. And we hope everybody has a fun and safe time celebrating on the July 4th weekend and appreciating all of the freedoms that we enjoy as a part of this country. Also, there will be no Monday Minute next week either with the holiday, and so we'll return on July 12th. Hard to believe that the 4th of July is already here, but that's where we are. Also, I want to remind everyone that there is no more pre-registration for our Sunday morning worship services. You can simply come on Sunday at 10 a.m. and we'll be happy to have you. We're still doing our best to have social distancing and safe distancing seating in the sanctuary. And of course, you can still always watch online if you wish to. If you are coming in person, we strongly suggest wearing masks to protect others and yourself, especially if you're not vaccinated, and we can do our part to help keep everyone safe. And we look forward to seeing you in these coming weeks here in the summer, no matter how it is that you are joining us for worship. I'll also remind everyone again that we're still trying to make up our spring deficit of over $15,000 compared to where we were a year ago at this time. So if you've not had a chance to make your offering or to catch up with your offering, you can do so either through the online giving options that we have, or you can bring that in to the church office between 9 and 1 during the week, and we'll be happy to receive that. Or you can also mail that into the church as well, as many of you have been doing during the course of the pandemic. Your continued support will enable us to have our continuing ministries going throughout the summer without any interruption, and especially as we get into these lean times in the summer months. Thanks in advance for your support. Sometimes our life in the church and our life in general can be frustrating. We all deal with it, especially we've been dealing with it during the pandemic. Many of us have been dealing with it as we also come out of this pandemic and we're working towards what is a new normal. But we find ourselves frustrated because as we go into this new normal, we can't do the quote-unquote normal things that we had done before. And even some folks are frustrated because as this interruption has created an opportunity for needed change, we find ourselves sometimes looking back for what it is that we used to do before. Yet, any of that change can be frustrating for some, especially when things don't go the way that we would expect. And many times we've been told, and other times we've even told ourselves, that in the midst of our frustrations, that, well, we just need to bear with it because God has a plan for all of us. Well, yes, I do believe that is true, that God does have an overarching plan for all of our lives. But sometimes when we tell ourselves that or have been told that, that is actually one of those half-truths that we have talked about before, in particular with our book study that we've done with the Reverend Adam Hamilton. But in fact, God puts a lot of those things in our hands, and our decisions that we make result in how it is that we move forward. But if we do ever find ourselves frustrated, we also can find ourselves in good company, because Jesus himself found that at times his ministry was stymied or his disciples weren't following through, and he would get frustrated. In Mark chapter 6, we get the story of how Jesus goes to Nazareth to teach in his own hometown. But when he goes there, he finds that the people who knew him, they didn't take his message seriously. And they asked, and I'm paraphrasing here, wait a minute, isn't this the carpenter's son? Isn't that his mom and his brothers and his sisters who are all here too? We know this guy. Where does he get off saying such things like this? Specifically, Mark says in chapter 6 that they took offense at him. Then Mark says that Jesus himself was amazed at their unbelief. And in fact, that because of their unbelief, he could do nothing except cure a few sick people. To say Jesus was frustrated may have been an understatement. Jesus would get frustrated, but that also meant that he didn't give up either. Here in this case, he quoted the scripture that says that prophets are not without honor, except in their hometown. In a way, he set those expectations then low for his time in Nazareth. But if things were not going well for him at home, he came up with another solution. He sent his followers out into the world. In verse 7 of Mark chapter 6, he called his disciples together and he sent them out, 2 by 2, to share the message to all that they would encounter. And if they refused, he simply told them to shake the dust off of their sandals and to move on. Jesus' solution wasn't just for him to do things somewhere else outside of his hometown. He turned his frustration into an opportunity to send others out and to share that good news with whoever would hear. And that's really the mission of the church today. We are the ones that Jesus sends out into a world that is in need of good news. And we are the ones who in his name can bring that true healing and that true hope. Sometimes it will not be accepted, but other times, and in fact most other times, people might be receptive and will be willing to listen and will be exactly the message they've been waiting for and need to hear. This summer, as we continue to recover from the pandemic and are finding our way in a new world, and hopefully we make some progress in some new areas, let's not be frustrated about what it is that we cannot do. But let's seize the opportunity to do new things and to go out into the world so we can share what Jesus is all about. And along with that, we can share with the world what Newberg is all about. A place that is welcoming and affirming of all people and recognizes the Christ that exists in everyone. That is how we grow. And that is how we change not only ourselves, but we can change and transform the world and make new disciples of Jesus Christ. And how we can overcome all things, including the things that we are not able to do anymore, but the new things that we are able to do as we come out of this pandemic. Again, I want to wish everybody a happy Independence Day and I hope that you celebrate safely. And we'll see you back here in 2 weeks for another edition of the Monday Minute.